Hi everyone, Nicholas here. And in this video, we have a special shout out in this video. And watch until the end of this video. A very special shout out. So before I start this video, please make sure y'all please like the video, please. Subscribe to the channel, please. And y'all can all follow me on Instagram. And also I want to add as well that I worked really hard on trying to get this video up. The fact that I had to study for this and prepare for this lesson was hard work. I stayed up night to night studying about it and seeing how to do this. And this is a lesson that I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do it as simple as I can. I'm not going to do any complication on this either. So it would really help for you to understand that I'm doing this and I'm trying my best to do it, if you understand what I mean. Hopefully, you understand. In the near future, we might come back and revisit this again. But no further ado, let's start. If you remember all of those pronouns that we went through all of them. So if you remembered on video before, we went over the pronoun I. In this video, we're going to be teaching you all how to conjugate a verb. So there's a few things that we need to know about verbs and how to conjugate verbs in Brazilian Portuguese. The first thing that you need to know is that there are 3 types of verbs in Brazilian Portuguese. AR, IR, and ER. After you determined that 3 verbs that ended on those 3 letters at the end, the infinitive versions, the 3 verbs in Brazilian Portuguese that ends on those 3, then what you need to determine is if it's first person, second person, or third person. So if you haven't watched the last video, I went over a little bit on that. I talked about what's the first person, second person, and third person. And then what you need to figure out as well, if the verb is in the present, in the past, in the future. To know if a verb is conjugated in Brazilian Portuguese is by looking at the endings and comparing it to the infinitive form. So if it's an unconjugated verb and the ending hasn't changed, if it's still the infinitive version, then the verb is not conjugated. Now, if the verb is conjugated, the basic unconjugated form of the verb, if the ending has changed, then the verb has been indicated that it's been conjugated. If it's in the past tense, if it's gonna happen or happening right now, or if there's a number of people and person. That is how you know that the verb is conjugated in Brazilian Portuguese. So I'm going to show you here a little bit on this video here. And like I said, I'm going to hopefully have this little bit series going on as well in the future. But just for the basics, we're doing this. It's someone's birthday that requested for me to do that. So I'm going to be trying my best to do it. And hopefully in the future, we're going to be doing more on this. But when you say, I sing, eu canto. Eu canto. So, eu canto, I taught you about the verb sing in Portuguese. Cantar on the last video. If you haven't checked it out, it's over at this channel. You just have an A at the end if it's an infinitive form. But now it's conjugated. Tu cantas. Tu cantas. If you look right there, you have an S at the end. Tu cantas, because it's conjugated. That's why you have an S at the end. And if you realized as well that we have tu, there's going to be a link of a website that I used as a reference on how we know if it's conjugated or not. Be a link on this in the description. You would have an S at the end on this one. We went over about this pronoun because this pronoun is used in some parts of Brazil. You know that this pronoun you use to conjugate verb on you. So that's why you do not see você here. And it's also because tu is a valid pronoun when you say você. But I still use it on some parts of Brazil as well. Você has become the dominant on more worldwide used form of the second person singular. Effectively, você replaced that one. So tu replaced você in Brazilian Portuguese. In some regions in Brazil as well, especially in the southern of Brazil as well. So this is due to a shift of a historical, social, or historic factors. So that's why that you conjugate this one instead in Brazilian Portuguese, conjugating instead of você. You could still say você as well when you say it. The conjugation would be different. You would not say você cantas. It would not make sense if you have an S at the end. Ele, he, sing, ele canta, ela canta. So you would still say this one right here, ele canta, ela canta. Would have an A at the end on this one. Ele canta, ela canta. Then here, start going to the plural forms. We sing in Portuguese. Nós cantamos. Nós cantamos. Would have that right there. Cantamos. M-O-S at the end. So every time it's a plural, we have an S at the end of the pronouns. I talked about that on the pronoun video. Every time if there's a plural pronoun, we have an S because it's identifying that it's a plural. So this one, we sing. Nós cantamos. And then right here, voz, cantais. This one you would do A-I-S, cantais. On this one, and then voice, that means you. It's also in some parts of Brazil they would use voice as well. Eles, if it's they. In Portuguese they would also do as well if it's a male or a female. If it's a male you would say eles. So if it's a male you have an E right here at the end right there. Ele. If it's a female you would have an A at the end because it's a female. So that's why you would have an A at the end right there because it's a female. But right here, plural form, so you would have an S at the end. Those two. Eles cantam. If it's a male, group of male or a group of mixed. Elas Canta. Only use elas with the A and the S at the end because if it's a female, if it's a group of females. So you would say elas cantam. Yeah, you would just have those letters at the end of those conjugations. So, since I showed you how to conjugate this verb, it is time for us to do this verb. We're going to sing something. The song that we're going to be singing is Happy Birthday. And we have someone special that has a birthday today. Alright, well, now it's time for us to sing Happy Birthday here. Hope you enjoyed this. Alright, let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miss Fisher. Happy birthday to you. Well, happy birthday, Miss Fisher. Alright, well, today's Miss Fisher's birthday, so happy birthday to her. She's a good math teacher. And yeah, alright, so if you like the video, please make sure you like the video, please. Subscribe to the channel, please. I have Instagram, you can follow me over there. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.